Alright, so here we go, 11.4 in intermediate algebra, properties of logarithms. And as we continue practicing here, I'm going to give you 3 different properties that we're going to work on. In the last lesson we had 2, and this one we're going to have 3. And the first one is if we have a logarithm and it has a base, I don't really care what the base is, we'll just put a letter there, meaning it can be anything. And we have 2 numbers multiplied together. That is the same as writing it like this. That's a B. Okay, so it can be written like that. Okay, so the product is the sum when you add them up. Okay, and that comes from the idea is if we have x cubed times x squared, what do you do with the exponents? You add them, and that's what we're doing. Remember I said exponents are logarithms, so the properties are the same. Alright, so next property. If we have log base b of x over y, we're dividing. Then we go log b of x minus log b of y. Okay, so we subtract when they're divided like that. Alright, the third one has to do with the power rule. Log base b of x to the, let's say, t power. That will be t log b of x. So notice all we did was took the exponent here and moved it to the front. Alright, so let's go ahead and make those smaller, put them over here so we can remember them. And let's just go ahead and see what we can come up with here. So example 1 says expand using the properties of logarithms. So we have log 5 of 3xy over z. Alright, so that's a division, so we're going to use this one right there. So what's that going to look like? That is going to be log base 5 of 3xy minus log base 5 of z. Okay, so at this point you're thinking, oh, that isn't too bad. But what I would like for you to notice here is we have a 3xy right there. We have multiplication there. And what does multiplication mean? It means add. So we're going to do the same thing that we just did. So log 5 of 3 so see what I did? Because the 3xy were multiplied, we add them. Okay, and then we continue on and we put that at the end. Okay, so that's called expanded. And that's what I did there, as I expanded that original problem that they gave me there. Alright, let's try another one. So we are going to expand the log with a base of 2 with an x to the 4th over the square root of y times z cubed. Okay, so first thing that we do here is we do the division just like I did on the last one. So we're going to rewrite this as log base 2 of x to the 4th minus log base 2, and I'm going to put this in parentheses, Okay? So I did the division part of it. Now let's look at the other parts. Alright, so notice we have an x to the fourth. What happens when we have an exponent? When we had a t, what did we do? We moved it to the front. So this is going to be 4. Okay, so that part's done. Minus log 2, and I'm going to change that to an exponent. So if you remember, square root is the same as a 1/2 as far as the exponents are concerned. Okay, so let's go ahead and write this. Now that minus, this thing is being applied to both of those. So this is where it gets a little tricky to sum. So normally it would be a plus, because that's what we have here. Change this xy, so this y times z, to a plus. But this negative here means that this is a negative and this one is a negative, because we have to distribute that negative not only on this letter y to the 1/2 but also on this one. Alright, so remember what the 1/2 and the 3 do? If you remember, and if you look up here, when we have a t, we have an exponent, it just moves in the front. So 4 log 1/2, move that to the front, minus 3, and there's our answer. That is expanded. So we took something nice and short like that and made it into a big blue mess there. Alright, so example 3. How about we go the other way around? How about I give you something that's expanded Okay, so we're going to take that, and it says we're going to write it as a single logarithm, but I like to say we're going to compress it. So we're going to kind of go the other way here. So let's see what we've got here. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so first of all, we're going to take each one of the exponents and put it back. So if it's written there, see right here, if it's there, we're going to put it back up there. So this one here is going to turn into the log. Let's move it down a little bit. Log base 10 of A, and that 2 is going to go up there. And this is going to be log base 10 of B, and that 3 is going to go up there. Minus log 10 of C, and that 1/3 will go up there. Okay, so we've already moved things a little bit, and let's continue on. Let's look at this plus. What happens with the plus? Well, over here, when we were at a plus, it turned into a multiplication. So let's do that. Log 10 a squared b cubed. And that's all we'll do for that one right now. Okay, so the times sign means that we multiply. What does the minus sign mean? It means that we divide. So again, log 10 a squared b cubed divided by c to the 1/3. And you can leave it as c to the 1/3, or you can write it as the cubed root of c. Doesn't really matter one way or the other. Okay, so that is the compressing part. All right, one more problem here, and this is the example number 4. And again, I know this stuff is a little bit tough because of all the weird stuff, but it will start clicking. Okay, log of x plus 2 plus log base 2 of x equals 3. Alright, so what they want to do on this one is they want you to actually solve it. So this is actually solving for x, and this is where what we just learned is going to help. Alright, so looking over here at the right, we have a plus sign, so we've got this, so we're going to make it into a multiplication. Alright, so this is going to turn into the log. And again, oops, this has got a 2 down here. Log base 2, x plus 2 times x. Because of this and that. Okay, because they're added, we're going to multiply. Alright. Now, in order to solve, and this is one of the things that you'll learn, in order to solve, we have to get rid of the logarithm. Alright, so we're going to change this to exponential form. So exponential form means that 2 to this power equals that. So logarithms are gone. So now what we'll do is we'll write that as 8. We'll distribute that. And we'll get x squared plus 2x. Let's move that over here. Minus 8 equals 0. And that gives us a quadratic. So now we can set that equal to 0. X, 4, 2 plus minus. So x equals negative 4 and 2. Alright, and that's my answer. So my logarithm, all this mess up here, is actually equal to negative 4 and 2. And that's it for lesson 11.4.